U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services today. And good morning and congratulations on becoming the newest citizens of our great country. While the oath that you will swear today, you all have completed one of the most important journeys of your lives, and that's becoming an American citizen. The fabric of America is woven from a variety of backgrounds, races, religions, and creeds, each thread made up of unique individuals such as yourselves coming together to form an even greater nation. Among the 16 new citizens here today are individuals from 12 countries across the globe, from our Canadian neighbors to the north, Chile to the south, Philippines to the west, and Turkey to the east. The binding factor that we all share as Americans, however, is our common belief in the ideals enshrined in our Constitution. These ideals including freedom, liberty, and the rule of law allow us to come together as one people. These ideals are the foundation of what makes our country great, and the citizens that uphold these values and the commitment to them are our way of life, or what make America so special. Since our country's inception, naturalized citizens have lived, worked, prayed, and even fought and died side by side with their fellow Americans. Many have made incredible contributions to our society through hard work and appreciation for our ideals and self-sacrifice. Names like Alexander Hamilton, Andrew Carnegie, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, and Elon Musk have graced the pages of U.S. history, each of them immigrants to our great country who have seized the opportunity to maximize their potential. For centuries, our republic has fostered an environment in which an individual is given the opportunity to make their own choices, free from the unfair and deadly policies placed upon them by dictators and authoritarians. Today, you only need to look at Secretary Chow or the millions of other naturalized citizens who are working to better our country each and every day as examples of the freedom our country provides. As the Acting Secretary of Homeland Security, I have the privilege and the honor of overseeing our country's immigration and naturalization system, and it has been one of my greatest honors of my career to welcome hundreds of thousands of new citizens to the American family each year. You all exemplify the success that comes with a strong, fair immigration system that maintains its integrity. And while each of you has reached an incredible milestone here today, it is just one chapter in your American story. It is up to you how the rest of the pages will be written. So again, congratulations on this tremendous accomplishment. And now I'd like to introduce Staff Sergeant Edmund Milley, who will lead us in singing our national anthem. Please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we
New Zealand, Nigeria, Philippines, and Turkey. Mr. Cuccinelli, I present to you 16 candidates representing 12 countries who have applied to become citizens of the United States. Each of the candidates has been interviewed by an officer of USCIS and, unless exempted by the law, has demonstrated the ability to read, write, and speak words in the English language. Each has demonstrated his or her knowledge and understanding of the history and the principles and form of the government of the United States. Mr. Cuccinelli, I recommend that these candidates be administered the oath of allegiance, thereby admitting them to United States citizenship.
So candidates for naturalization, if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations. You all are now citizens of the United States of America. And if you would please remain standing, as your first act as new United States citizens, I would ask you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll all say it together. You will not repeat after me. We will say it at the same time. I will just get us started. So if everyone would please stand, face the flag, and cover your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag She is a graduate of Harvard Business School and the recipient of 37 honorary degrees, doctorate degrees. She's the eldest of 6 daughters and exemplifies the opportunities that are so abundant in America. And it is her history and accomplishment that make her truly one of the most unique speakers at naturalizations that we have ever had. And it is my honor to introduce Secretary Chow.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the White House. Isn't this special? I came to America when I was 8 years old, and I got my citizenship at age 19. My family's journey is one that I'm sure you've heard a lot about from many other people because you share the same experiences. My late mother, Ruth Mulan-Chu Chow, and my father, Dr. James S.C. Chow, met during the Chinese Civil War. At the height of the Civil War, they separately left their homeland And after a 2-year search, my father finally found my mother, convinced her parents to allow them to marry, and started a family. My father became the youngest sea captain at the age of 29. He took a national examination, scored #1, broke all the records, and this gave him the chance to come to America, but only him. So my mother, my 2 sisters, and I were left behind. Our family was separated for 3 years before he was able to get us. We came aboard a cargo ship because that was all he could afford at the time. When our ship sailed into New York Harbor, we were filled with happiness, but we were also very anxious, wondering whether we would ever survive in this new country. Our initial years in America were very challenging. I don't need to tell you that. But my parents never lost faith in the promise of America, and that America was a land of opportunity, and that our futures would be bright. Each of you come with your own stories of coming to America. I am here to affirm to you that your hard work and sacrifices are well worth it. This is a wonderful country with so many opportunities. Congratulations on becoming an American citizen and being able to carry that precious blue passport whenever you leave our borders. Now it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce the one that you really came to listen to, our great featured speaker, Vice President Mike Pence. Not yet. The Vice President is a man of great faith, compassion, and experience who, along with our Second Lady, Karen Pence, has devoted his life to serving others. He wanted to be here today to welcome you, to congratulate you, and celebrate this great day with you. So please join me in giving a rousing welcome to the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for that warm welcome, and it is a great honor for me to be here on such a special day to welcome 16 new Americans to the American family. Give yourselves a round of applause. And it's an honor to be here with some extraordinary public servants as well. You just heard about her personal story, but she has done an extraordinary work for this nation, serving multiple administrations. And I hope she proves to each and every one of you that this is the land of opportunity. Would you join me in thanking the 18th Secretary of Transportation, Secretary Elaine Chao? Thank you so much. And also, I want to thank Acting Secretary Chad Wolf and Acting Deputy Secretary Ken Cuccinelli and the Deputy Director Joe Enlow. I hope you could see from where you were seated the emotion on their faces as they had the privilege of playing a role in welcoming you to the United States of America. These are men of integrity who love this country, and they love to welcome new Americans. Give them all a round of applause, will you? They're very special people. And let me also extend congratulations from another friend of mine. I just left him a few minutes ago. We were celebrating some great news in America, but I know he'd want me to extend his congratulations to each and every one of you. So to all the new Americans in the room, I extend congratulations and welcome from the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. And on behalf of the President and the First Lady, welcome to the White House. It's an honor to have each one of you here for such an important milestone in your life and in the life of this nation. There's no naturalization ceremony that ever occurs in this country that isn't of enormous importance to the life of this nation. because apart from our Native American brothers and sisters, the reality is that all of us came here from somewhere else. Truth is, my own story, and just 2 short generations ago, involved immigration. Some were brought here against their will. Some came to this continent to seek freedom and liberty. And now, from all different points on the globe, all of you have joined that journey. And we know that you are going to do your families and your nation proud as American citizens. So I welcome you once again. And I'm told that this class comes from 12 countries across 5 continents. It was inspiring to see the range of backgrounds being standard during introductions. But you also come from just about every walk of life. A security officer, a cashier, a pilot, a journalist, a contractor, a graphic designer, just to name a few. And now you've brought those talents to the United States of America. And let me just say, on behalf of all the people of this country, thank you. Thank you for bringing your lives, your experience to enrich the greatest nation on earth. We're grateful to each and every one of you for embracing America and becoming American citizens. From those diverse backgrounds, though, you had one common aspiration. You left hearth and home, friends and families. You left the familiar for the unfamiliar. You're part of the long American story that we will celebrate in just a few short days. And you come at a time of unique challenges in America and across the wider world as we deal with an unprecedented pandemic. But I think the world has seen, and you will continue to be a part of a story that demonstrates the resilience and the strength of the American people. Because as the jobs numbers testify today, nearly 5 million jobs created in the last month, we're opening up America again. And you're in the midst of a great American comeback. And you'll be a part of that. Our history now is your story. And by bringing your talents and your energies and your enthusiasm and your devotion so eloquently articulated, not just in the oath that you took, but in the pledge that we all recited, we know you're going to play your own individual part in making a stronger and more prosperous America. And it's good to be with you as we're just a few days away from celebrating our Independence Day. 244 years ago, a group of Americans gathered in Philadelphia and signed a document pledging their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor behind a set of ideals, a commitment that all are created equal, even though at that time in the life of our nation, some were not considered that way. We committed to a more perfect union. And each and every year since, our nation has strived for a more perfect union, and I know with the diversity of backgrounds that each of you bring, you will enrich America and be a part of our steady march toward that more perfect union, and I thank you. I truly do. But you may not know that 244 years ago today was also a momentous day. July the 2nd, 1776 was actually the day that a man who would become our first vice president said that we'd be celebrating our independence. You may not have actually known this, but it was on July the 2nd, 1776, that Congress actually declared independence by adopting a resolution. And John Adams, our first vice president, I'm partial to vice presidents, actually wrote in a letter to his wife Abigail, quote, "The second day of July, 1776 will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America." He said, "I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations with great anniversary festivals, with pomp and parade, shows and games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations." Well, actually, we celebrate that 2 days from now, but now you're a part of the great and storied history of July the 2nd. So welcome. "244 years after that courageous decision, the liberty that was won, now you're a part of America's steady march. And I just want to commend you. I want to commend you for having the courage to reach for your dreams and to make the sacrifices necessary to become part of the greatest nation in the history of the world. And your stories are truly inspiring. Like a man who came to this country 16 years ago from the Philippines. His family's already making contributions to this country. One of his sons, I'm told, serves as an Army medic at Fort Carson in Colorado. Another of his sons is a cargo specialist in the Army Reserve. What a great family. So today, Orlando Medrano is an American and a proud father, to say the least. Stand up and give those boys my best. And I was also inspired by the testimony of a woman who's here today who said, and I quote, that as an American I can travel, I can go to school, I can vote, I can achieve my goals and my dreams. In a word, becoming an American citizen for me is freedom. And those inspiring words tell me that she has chosen well, and America has done well by welcoming Fatoumata Ouattara as a new American citizen. Where are you, Fatoumata? Thank you so much. Beautiful words. Welcome. And at this moment in the life of our nation, it's also deeply meaningful to hear the story of a man from Nigeria who works as a security officer and had a dream of becoming a police officer in the United States, a dream that we hope he pursues, a great and noble profession. Those who serve and protect our communities are the best among us. So allow me to thank and to congratulate Olanre Waju Akin Remy. Good job. Congratulations. I'm just glad I got through those great names, those beautiful names. And thank you for your patience. But frankly, all your stories are inspiring. All your stories are now a part of the American story. And I must tell you, the reason why I've made this a bit of a tradition since becoming your vice president is because it's part of my story too. The reality is that just like you had the courage to step forward, to come to America and to go through the process of becoming American citizens, my grandfather did the same. In fact, I'll never forget the day that I was inaugurated as the 48th Vice President of the United States. I was sitting up on the platform, and people have asked me since what I thought about at that time. My wife at my side, our 3 children, and I honestly couldn't stop thinking about my grandfather. You see, he came to this country, stepped off onto Ellis Island on April 11, 1923. He took the train to New York City. He moved to Chicago, Illinois. He drove a bus for 40 years. He raised a precocious redhead who would become my mother, married a salesman, and moved to a small town in southern Indiana. They built everything that matters, a family, a business, and a good name. And that day of Inauguration Day, I couldn't help but think of my grandfather and what he must have been thinking, looking down from glory. You see, I was actually named after him. I'm Michael Richard Pence, and he was Richard Michael Cawley. I've actually been in Ireland to see the house he grew up in with 10 brothers and sisters. The house itself wasn't more than 2 rooms with a thatch roof in Ireland. And the legend in our family is that my great-grandmother managed to get him a one-way ticket to America. And she told him, "You have to go because there's a future there for you." And I was part of that future. My 3 brothers and 2 sisters the same. And now his great-grandchildren. Great-grandchildren are also living the American dream, but it all happened because he made the decision to go, to leave hearth and home behind. He wouldn't see his mother for 25 years. But he did it, and I believe he did it with faith in this country, faith in the boundless opportunities in America, and also with an aspiration and a hope for the children and the grandchildren that would follow. And I'll be forever in his debt, but I'm also a debtor to America. I'm a debtor to America that made good the promise, that put my grandfather on that boat and brought him across. And I want to say to each and every one of you, wherever you have come from, you are now Americans. And America will make good on our promise to each and every one of you. Boundless opportunity for all. So go out and grab that dream. But as I close, let me say on this day, when you become citizens of the freest and most prosperous nation in the history of the world, there's a Bible verse that I've long cherished. It reads, "To whom much is given, much will be required." And as you embrace the responsibilities of citizenship and the privileges, I hope you also find a way to give back for all that you've been given on this day. Raise a great family. Build a business. Serve in law enforcement. Even put on the uniform of the United States. Be a teacher, volunteer at a local service club, or run for office. Find a way to serve. Find a way to give back. Live out the oath that you just recited to this country in your everyday lives. And I promise you, everything that you give to America, you will receive beyond anything you could ask or imagine back. You've inherited a legacy of liberty that generations of Americans have paid for with their lives. And so use it well and do your part. And finally, like that Irishman I was talking about, and like each and every one of you, keep dreaming big. There are no dreams too big in the land of the free and the home of the brave. You work hard. You play by the rules. Sky's the limit. So congratulations to 16 new Americans. May God bless you, and may God bless your new home, the United States of America.
No, that's okay. You can all sit. It'll be brief for some of you. And I appreciate the Vice President's inspiring remarks and Secretary Chow's as well. At this time, we have the privilege of presenting you with your naturalization certificates. All right, now I will call your names one at a time and would ask you to come up, shake Secretary Wolf's hand or elbow bump, yes. And Joe Edlow will have your naturalization certificate. And Joe, do these need to be signed or are they already signed? You will sign it yourself. It'll be the last step in the process when you sign your own naturalization certificate. So I will call you one at a time, and once you're done, you can return to your seat. Nigatu Bahiru Goba.
Congratulations. Well done.
All right. Betty Schellengat Lychena. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done.
Juan Carlos Gutierrez Zepeda. Congratulations.
Congrats, Juan. Well done. Congratulations.
So congratulations in the age of COVID here. Michelle Kofi Ba. Michelle Marie Eviard. Congratulations.
Well done, Michelle. Sharp elbows.
Dora Ivana Lemus Tobar. Congratulations.